Do we have anybody online anyway?
No.
All right. So we need the approval of the minutes of January 8th.
I'll make a motion to approve the Old Saybrook Park and Rec Commission meeting minutes of January 8th, 2025.
Second?
All right, we have a motion from Jim, second by Jan. All in favor of the motion? Any discussion,
Discussion.
excuse me, any discussion or corrections that they regarding? Hearing none. Call the motion. Everybody
Aye.
say aye who wants the minutes.
Aye.
Nays who don't. Any abstentions? Okay, done. Recognition of guests. For the record, just the names.
Cheryl Madsen from the Old Saybrook Rotary.
And
And Roseanne Farrell from the Old Saybrook Library.
anybody online?
No.
No one online. Welcome guests. Correspondence?
No correspondence.
No correspondence. We're reviewing the bills here. Are the bills? There they are. Okay. Any question on the bills?
Ray, how often do they clean the Clark Union Park bathroom there? Vector it out, I mean, when they vector it out,
We usually do it every 4 months.
every 4 months they do
Yeah.
it.
We have the company that put it in comes
They
down.
made a
just
mess the last time they did it,
The company of.
a mess.
Does Freddie do any of the sidewalks in our parks? Or is it just, making sure they're clear of snow and stuff? Who do we have for that?
Oh.
Okay, because they haven't done the sidewalks around, well, let me back up. Do we normally do snow removal from, say, the, Liner Gardner statue and the fort?
No.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Hearing none, moving on. To new business, because we have no one else from the public up there, okay? So, welcome Rotary Club, Old Saybrook. I will give you the floor.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So, hi, I'm Cheryl Madsen, and this is Roseanne. We are part of the Old Saybrook Rotary. And thank you for letting us come and talk to you today about our, to present our Peaceful project to you. So, and hopefully by the end of this presentation, we will convince you, going one step closer to having a Peaceful permanently placed in somewhere in Old Saybrook. So just a little bit about us. So I'm just going to show you a little bit on here, and I'm going to have to use this. So Old Saybrook, we're approaching our 100th year anniversary. We're really excited to be part of this community. And we've been here, as Rotarians, our main objective is we are peace builders. So that is part of who we are. We, our mission is to build a more peaceful world in our environment. And we operate under 4 guidelines. We do this 4-way test. Yeah. And we say every day, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? So that's kind of how we operate in any project we do as a Rotarian. And so that's who we are. And we do service Old Saybrook, Westbrook, Lyme, and Old Lyme. So we're a pretty big organization. And we service the towns, the high schools. Even this morning, we did our Student of the Month. So we honored 3 students in languages with a lovely breakfast and a presentation and awards for them. So I'm going to let Roseanne talk a little bit about the Peaceful project itself.
Stand up here.
Yeah,
If you don't mind. And
So I've never heard that term. Rotarians?
Rotarians.
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 Rotarians, okay.
Yeah. So what's peaceful? Apparently peace poles are a very universal symbol of peace. And what we have done Is that our old Rotary Club?
Oh, yeah, this is just some service projects that we did.
Yeah.
in the
I think
community.
you've seen us around. You see us every summer, at the concerts. We sponsor a lot of them. We take part in all the activities, I think, in Old Saybrook. We give money to the community in many ways that we can. People come to us and then we have other things that we do. So we're here to serve the community. That's what Rotary is really all about. So these are some of our activities. Peace Polls is a worldwide initiative. There are 200,000 peace polls in the world today. It's a universal symbol of peace. Now, what we did is we got our own peace poll. As you can see, it's a portable one. We obtained it just in December. And we had decided that we wanted one. And we asked the schools, like, what are the most common languages? Who are the people we serve? And we found out that Spanish, Portuguese, and they recommended Mandarin Chinese. So that's what our peace poll shows. You can choose whatever languages you want. You can choose sign languages. You can have a poll that has up to 8 sides to it. So that's really everybody's own decision. The phrase is a universal phrase. May peace prevail on earth. That's what this says in all of those languages. And that's what the peace polls around the world, that's the phrase that they have used. However, some people come up with their own phrases. It's very interesting. Westbrook High, the Interact Club there, their students are building their own peace poll. And they came up with, let peace begin here. I thought that was a great one. So you can decide whatever you'd like to do. As you can also see, why would you want a peace poll? I think that's a really important point. Well, we've said it's an international symbol of peace. And it's meant to just people think about it a little bit, inspire, have people think about unity and cultures, etc. It's also meant to bring people together, to maybe give them a little pause and think about kindness and that kind of stuff, and to come together to think how they can celebrate peace. It encourages people to just think about how in their own life they could maybe be a little kinder or think a little more about other people. And it's interesting in some of the studies, and I don't think there's been a lot of them, but where they have put peace polls in community, you find it's very community building and engaging. It sort of serves as a focal point for bringing people together. So this is just an example of one sort of peace poll that's been permanently planted. Our club would really love to have Old Saybrook have a peace poll in some location to do all the things that we think would benefit the community. We think it would be very, very positive for the community, and we would like to see that happen.
And just as like another point of fact, so there's only less than 15 peace polls in Connecticut right now.
I was
Even
just
though
gonna
there's-
ask you, where's the nearest one?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the nearest one is in Guilford, or New London also has, so the New London's is indoors.
Yeah.
They have it like in I don't know if it's in their town hall, but it's in
one of their
buildings.
Yeah,
So New London
So it's
has
inside
one.
of buildings. So do you
Yeah.
have any examples of it outside
I
somewhere?
do. So we have,
we do.
so what we have, there's a whole nother
Yeah.
scenario of different options. So
Yeah.
this is the typical peace poll, which is an indoor, outdoor, PVC based, weatherproofed
Right.
pole.
And it can
comes
come
in
up in
6,
6 or 8 feet.
7 or 8 feet. You can pick it.
Yeah.
This is the standard one.
But
There's,
it
we
doesn't
have,
have to be that.
It
Like you
doesn't
said,
have to be
Westbrook
that.
has their own take on.
Yeah, and I can, like, we brought some examples of what other communities have. We have this other standard one, it's a moon one, but there's some in here.
Mhm.
Those were talking, so some school painted their own.
Yeah.
They literally just created their own, made their art
And
department.
that's what Westbrook is doing, by the way. They're doing their own.
Yeah, they're gonna build their own, and I
Yeah.
believe Old Saybrook is trying to do.
And
that, the
our
high school.
Saybrook High School, we have a student that's taking that on as a senior project, so he's working with his shop teacher, and they're
Yeah.
gonna plant them outside of their schools.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting.
And so this is other ways you can see how they're, different scenarios. Some have like a bench next to it, so people can sit and reflect. Some put it in a garden setting.
Yeah.
Westport has it right by their town signs, says Town of Westport. I don't think I have that picture in here.
Yeah,
But
I
just to
think,
give you an idea of what
I
it
think the
could.
setting is very important for a
Yes,
baseball,
it's-
like the entire setting as a reflection area.
Yes.
Right,
I
a
agree
little
with
Koi
you.
pond or something like that, because just seeing a pole, I worry about,
what is that, right, what does that bring?
but
So-
also worry about vandalism outside, just
Well, it was
randomly,
interesting,
depending
in
on where
the
it's
study
located.
that I read, they said in this community they put it in, it wasn't like the best community. No one ever touched the peace pole. That was very interesting to me. I don't know why, it maybe it just felt that's too good.
It's like the Ouija
Maybe
board.
Everybody
Yeah.
thinks.
Right,
everybody thinks it's
right. Like, "Ooh, we don't mess
There's
with that."
a tough karma coming at you.
Don't mess with the peace pole.
So the good thing is that how you want to design the peace pole, there's whatever the
Yeah.
town decides.
Whatever
Where
fits
aesthetically
into the
it fits
town's
in,
aesthetic.
right.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Exactly.
a really important part that,
And there is a QR code, like there's a QR code on that goes to the International Rotary. Now,
well, it goes to the Peace Pole Project.
to the
It brings you
peaceful-
to
it brings
the
you
Peace Pole Project
of the
site.
International Rotary, you know. And there's also, I think you can get this in Braille, you can,
You could put like, on one of them, they have like sign language,
yeah, they have
Um,
sign language.
and, we just put up some ideas, like, will we love it at town hall? We would love it to be a town hall, right? It's a very communal place. We just went around, took some pictures of ideas of where it could be. Again, near the Cape, because the Cape is having this amazing peace event, with a tribute band to Neil Simon, who is a big peacemaker and has a whole album. So we thought we could tie that
Don't
to the
forget
Cape.
Garfunkel, it's part of that. too.
Yes,
Yeah.
true. So,
Yeah.
but just trying to tie it to the community, because this becomes a much bigger event. We thought outside the chamber, anywhere where it would get great visibility and
And
where
not get
people,
vandalized in a
Right,
in a
so it's
more
in a
public
place.
spot.
maybe it's Saybrook Point.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on Main Street, maybe
I
it's
mean,
at the beach, I don't know.
Harvey's Beach is a little seasonal, but I don't know.
We go there for sunset still. We just walked around town and said, but that's kind of part of why we're here, is to say, how do we see this fit into, and can this fit into the community?
Yeah.
So what we're
How
here
can
really
it
to
serve
talk
the
about
community?
is, what our role could be, what your role would be, and the different components that go into it. Like, we're
Yeah.
here to support it in the way the town wants to support it. We're here to help fund it.
Yeah.
And part of it is a big unveiling. Like, at the end of the day, there's a ceremony where you unveil the Peace Bowl. It's a community event. People are invited. It's meant to
And
be
you
a
make it
celebration.
Something that's good for the community. So,
And we know that from town, obviously the town needs to approve it. Pick languages,
Yeah.
So
give
where's
it
the-
time.
Where's the high school
Yeah,
student
that's
putting theirs?
That's just the beginning stages of that.
They're going to be deciding where they want to put it outside of the high
Could
school.
this be part of his project?
This,
Or we're talking about two peace bowls.
we
They're
like,
the high schools are putting peace bowls in high schools.
yeah, I think that they're trying to find.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, we would like several.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But that again is, what would the town, would the town permit? What
Yeah.
would-
Jane, I saw your hand up. What did I-
Well, no, I was wanting to know what the high schools are doing so that we can complement and, complement each other, instead of it being too. duplicative.
I like your point. I mean, the more reminders you have of that,
Yeah.
especially when someone's having a bad day and maybe it's potentially gonna take it out on somebody else and they see the peace bowl.
Mhm.
And they think, they stop
Yeah.
and
Like
pause.
they second
It's-
think.
Right, it's to make you pause a little bit.
Yeah.
And the student just came up to us, I think we just got a notification this week, so we just met with him on Monday, so it's very early stages for the high school, that just.
The one in Westbrook, their Interact Club has been working on theirs for a while. So,
Yes.
well, and that's how they came up with their own saying and they're building it. But this young man is starting this off. And this morning we had a meeting and I spoke with the principal, Dave, at the high school, and he said they're gonna support him in every way with that. And they'd like to have a peaceful there, so it's still in the early stage, but working its way up.
It seems like this peace pole, you want it to be available like 365, where the school property isn't always available to the public.
Yeah,
365
exactly
days a
right.
year. I give a consensus on the commission here. Do you think we should go forward with thinking about where we can place this? And I can't see stars, so I don't know. If you think this is something that we could keep the discussion on and find if there is a place that we find within our properties.
yeah.
If we don't find something in our properties, I hope we go before the board of selectmen because,
Well,
yeah, I like that.
Well, I had contacted Mr. Valens, and I wouldn't say he just said, that sounds like a good idea. So I mean, that's as far as we got.
Yeah, he
So I don't
did
want to
what-
say he supported it. He just
He just
was
did not,
open,
he
he
did,
was
right.
open to the suggestion, so.
He told us to speak to
Yeah.
you, so.
Well, I know you and I and Ray,
Yeah.
we met before
We
to kind of have an idea of what a peace pole is.
Right.
And
We thought that
so-
bringing it would be helpful.
And this isn't the only style that we have that
Yeah.
we had a discussion of. It
Right.
could be even made out of wood. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
white PCB.
Yeah.
And of course, if we were to put it outside, it would be definitely
Planted
planted
yeah.
in a correct way by,
Yes,
someone.
and maybe
who's
probably
knowledgeable.
need a little landscaping or something, but yeah.
So, and then the choice of words and things could be ours, I mean, I
Absolutely.
think what we didn't speak about was possibility of having Braille on that as well,
Yeah.
because I
Right,
do
there's a
know
Oh,
we
you can
have
have Braille.
citizens in town
Mhm.
that do read Braille.
And they do come in 4 or 8 sides.
Yeah.
So if we find there's 8 languages that are more applicable to the town, that option is there as well.
You know,
There's a lot of options to create it, and again, designing one is.
We approach DMV. In front of the
Oh,
DMV.
yeah,
That'd be a
that'd be a
to
great
have.
place. Yeah, so the
Right
Braille
at the
is,
entrance.
yes, right. Well, and the Braille is a plate they add to.
It's a plate, yeah. They-
I just feel like I'm not 100% if it's on a park project, if that's really the best place for it for visibility and really a reminder of people, I think in a more public area like by the Cape, Town
Yeah.
Hall. When we have our concerts out there on the green.
Yeah.
Somewhere, some area that's kind of dedicated to that. If it's randomly in a park, I worry about it's just gonna get
Well,
vandalized.
then it's on the town green, it's still our responsibility.
Yeah.
We still have, say on that. So, I think we need to think about where, if we feel that we want to continue with this, where we think. And I would submit that we'll give each one of you a job of going to one of our parks and literally taking a look at, would this be a feasible place?
Yeah.
I mean, when you first talked about it, I will tell you the first spot I thought of was the circle at Saybrook Point.
Oh, yeah, and I
And-
took
Yeah,
that
that
picture.
was
and
another-
And
yeah,
I'm
that was
going,
another area.
well, yeah, I mean, that's the entrance to the Connecticut River. It's one of
Right,
the biggest
right.
things and then, I'm going, well, then there'd be some other place. I did like the idea of having it sort of like in a picnic-like area where people are going to surround it.
Right, I saw like a spot by the mini golf.
Yeah.
There's this little rock area behind there where people put benches and there's a view, and I
Well,
feel
I
it's more
think-
contemplative.
Where people can see it and think about it.
And question it and be like, what is
Question
this?
it, Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
that's the idea.
So I thank you for this. And again, the materials, do you have a dollar value that, you give to each piece pole that you want to grow?
Well, price of the peace poles that we can get are usually about $500. And that would be something that our Rotary would try
Would-
to
yeah, we
supply. But then there are the costs of insulation and whatever, so I mean, these would be
whatever those, yeah, so we as a Rotary support
Yeah,
about
we would
$500 towards the
support.
project.
Okay,
That would be our contribution. So,
So we don't know the cost of the installation, or if we're
Yeah.
gonna build
Sure.
it, what the
Yeah.
materials cost is.
Mhm.
This particular one was a little over 400, right? I think it was with the stand. Yeah, so, I think it depends on the ultimate.
and the 8-foot is not much more expensive. I mean, it's just pretty.
And this
much
is a
that.
6 foot, right? This is a
This
6
is
foot one.
just, yeah.
Jim,
I'm just thinking out loud here, but would it also make sense to possibly discuss it with the person at the high school that's in charge of their pole? Because I know the woodworking department does a great job with a lot of the projects that they've done. And we might give some thought to have a continuous design throughout Old Saybrook if we decide on, let's say the Park and Rec Commission decides on 2,
Mhm.
maybe we could have one up in the preserve for that matter, for people that are walking and reflecting. But, you know, if
Just for
one guy,
branding, kind of the
one guy or
testing,
gal
right?
is going to design this and build one at the high school, maybe they could build 3 or 4 at the same time.
Right, and then you can
Sounds
probably-
like a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a consistent message
Yeah,
and.
Correct,
some
right.
aesthetic.
That'd be great.
That's just, I love that idea.
it's a very good idea. We'd be
And
happy
that
to
one school
support
did it,
that.
they had done so many different polls, that school was out, I think, in Washington,
Yeah,
but they had
Yeah.
designed all different.
I mean, they don't all have to be the same pole, but as
Right.
long as this young person is gonna do that at the high
Mhm.
school, maybe this could be a more challenging project to come up with 3 or 4 different designs
You
that
know,
we can place around the town.
They were talking about the type of wood they would use that would be impervious to, outdoors, et cetera. But
And
I'm
to bring
sure
the
there are
youth
very
in.
many attractive ones that they could use.
Right, and to bring the youth in is, that's just where we want to start, the younger the better.
It was really so heartwarming. This young man was so excited about this project. And it was like, this is great. Do you want to do this? So,
does anyone
Any
else have any
questions?
questions?
Anything
So it
we,
would just be, you guys provide the 500 per pole or in total? So if.
well, I can't speak for the whole Rotary.
Right.
We had budgeted 500.
We have budgeted 500
total
and then.
for one,
you know,
essentially one
for
pole.
I'm
is what
only
you're
gonna tell you
asking
what
for.
I can tell you.
Right.
So,
We could have to go back to the
We'd
club
have to
for other approval for
see.
more funds.
we'd have to see. if it would,
Right, but it's really just one pole you're hoping to have us.
We were hoping you would take at least one poll.
Right, okay, that's what I'm just trying to
That was
see.
the ultimate
That
goal,
was really
right?
the goal.
To sell you on the idea to bring a pole into
Okay.
town.
Okay, so
Um,
we got it, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have support from our district,
Yeah.
that this has been a big push as a district overall.
They've been giving some grant money.
Right, so
to
we
some
might
of
have some,
this. This is how much Rotary wants to encourage. They consider themselves, through the service they do, to be peace builders. One of the big things, and I know you know this, Rotary has done for 30 years, is polio eradication. They've given just millions and millions and millions of dollars to that. So they consider themselves peace builders, in all the world. And this is a very important initiative. So they have some grant money. We can apply.
if you come back and say, look, we want 3 peace poles, we're gonna sell it to our club as best we can to
We'd
get more
be
funding for it.
so excited. Yeah.
Then it would be a definite community PR. I
Right,
mean, we
event,
would have
right.
something bigger than just the little
Yes.
picture in the Harbor News. It would be something.
Yeah.
We'd be the first shoreline community to do that.
Uh-huh, okay.
And the neighboring towns that you mentioned, just New London and Guilford, I believe, they're saying may peace prevail on earth. That's the,
I believe, the
there's
one,
gotta be some like, it's
Guilford
good
is-
to have consistency. Like, I don't want us
Right.
just throwing it out there and coming
Well,
up with a new
that's the
slogan, like.
universal message.
right, so you know,
But
Like, I think it's good to keep the universal, because a lot of people may not know what Rotary does,
Mm.
like the
Right.
youth,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, polio, yes, very important, we all know, but I'm pretty sure if I'd said that word to my son, he wouldn't know what that meant.
no,
So I'm just thinking, like, consistency in what we're attempting to replicate, right? And if it's
Right.
an international organization that you're trying to bring awareness to.
Right.
yes.
That it's really important that the message is
is
consistent.
consistent.
Very
It's a consistent message.
And if we start small, I think one is reasonable, especially if there's another one being, defined by Old Saybrook High School, which has different, different reasons and different
When I'm
Go.
with Jim, I think it would be important to have like a
Yeah, I
consistent
mean,
look to,
But
especially.
so if
on-
we
I
are,
think
we're
that
doing
makes
it,
sense.
it's to embrace
Because
that.
then if you
is
saw it
really
at town
important.
hall.
Oh,
and
there's
you
another
see the-
peace pole.
Right.
saw one
That's the
over
thing,
at the-
with
This
eight
year,
inches
maybe
to
it's
be a
more
four,
next
like,
year.
that
Yeah.
becomes a little like wonky, like,
Yeah.
right, in terms of just trying to, the message, right? Like,
Right. And once we plant our peace pole, there's like a whole interactive map. You can plant it on.
Yeah,
our
and you'll be in a
website.
worldwide map.
They actually, they.
Geocaching?
Worldwide, right?
It's a big
Yeah.
worldwide map.
Worldwide map of
For
all-
peace polling today, kids.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll
Find your Pokemon.
Find your foot, exactly,
Yeah.
but then that would, someone, you know, that would.
When you think that there's 200,000 around the world,
Oh, I
that's
don't
pretty
know.
impressive, I think,
200,000?
There's 200,000 throughout the world, yes.
throughout the world. So
I've never seen.
And there's
one.
only 15 in Connecticut?
There's only 15.
Yeah,
I think it's less than
We
that,
need to
actually.
step it up.
That's what I
That's what I
said. We need
think.
to.
I don't
I
say
don't
what I
know.
think.
I can't load my
Yeah.
internet here. There's a whole interactive website where you can see all of them. You can move the globe around. I just can't access it, but
Do you know how many countries are?
I don't have the answer to that.
I
You
don't,
that-
I don't know
that.
how many countries, but I know around the world, and there is all the continents.
So I think I
mean,
got it up.
they're in Africa and South America and all, everywhere, so.
Trying to load it for you, but it's
They
not
started,
quite-
Yeah.
yeah.
It's starting to. Oh, there it is. So there's the whole world.
There's-
Oh, there's all the
oh
peace
my
poles.
Yeah.
So cool.
So you can.
They're very
zoom in.
tall in
Yeah.
relation to the earth.
Yes, you can see it. It's
You can see it from space.
A little bit more than the $500.
Like the size of the,
Yeah, like they're they're everywhere.
Is there any in Italy? I'm going in October.
You can definitely look it up and find
Go
it.
visit, and if I find, I'll
If
take a
you-
picture.
One of the.
If you recall peace poles, there's a lot of information on them. It's really very.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and this actually is accessible from that QR code. So
Oh,
this
wow.
takes you to this
Yeah,
page,
okay.
I
That's
believe. I'm
right.
pretty sure this is the page it takes you to. But yeah, so I found out about Connecticut. So I was like, well, let me find Connecticut on the map and how many do we have? I counted some of the Rhode Island ones, so that's why I said 15, but I think it's more like 11. There's not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a small state, but.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to bring this to a close because we have
Okay,
some
so
other
sorry.
decisions we
Well,
have to make.
thank you. So we thank you
But
so
it's
much for
most
your time.
interesting.
If you have other questions, because the next steps, we
Thank
look
you.
forward to
If,
working with
if you have any, feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
You know how to contact
We
us.
will do
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you so much.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Oh, before you go, I want that QR code on my camera thing.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Ah, come on.
That peaceful travel.
Yeah.
something new every day.
Right? I wonder who's doing it at the high school. I don't know what the student.
I don't know.
Find out. I'll
It'll be a
have to
senior
back-
project, right?
Yeah.
Elementary school, it's like you got.
Yeah.
A nice one, a good one,
Yeah.
a short one.
Next to that buddy bench that they have over there. Everybody can sit down and think about what they did.
The tree, when you first go in a good one, like the doors to the right, that tree, that was my class planting that tree.
Oh,
From like
well,
90.
Do the rocks with the hand, like there's some
Yeah.
fun stuff. I think it was pretty.
Right when you go into Goodwin to the right of the front door, there's a tree there. That was, I don't know what it is, but I remember I remember we had a whole
Thank
sitting
you.
around it. We all dug it and we planted it. Yeah. That's how old I am. That's how big the tree is.
Okay, so
All right.
our
Something
next
like that.
thing
Yeah, in the very back. Go. Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy was around.
is the infamous sheet pass.
I was. We didn't talk about that.
So obviously last month I gave everyone beach pass policy to review. And please make your decision tonight. Well, I gotta pass it, but, yeah. How we want to change it or whatever.
I just have some questions on the beach pass policy, because I was reading through it, I can't remember when, maybe it was the last meeting or whatever, huh? Yeah, I just read at night and random things. I guess my concern is, and I know this isn't just me talking, because I have several residents, and when we don't have a lot of space at town park. It's very limited.
Town Beach.
Town Beach. And the overflow, to go, park at Harvey's. And it's really crowded sometimes at Harvey's. I just, do we give out, because when I was looking at the policy, non-residents can buy the pass to Harvey's Beach.
Yep, one pass.
One pass for a non-resident.
Yep.
And the renters can also do it.
Renters
Do we have?
don't buy a pass, they buy a 2-week piece of paper that says in there.
Yeah, do we have a limit to how many that we give out?
Well, I only buy 100 non-resident passes. Last year we sold 53.
That's it.
But that's for Harvey's, not town.
Only
They-
Harvey's Beach, non-resident
Yeah.
beach pass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the only place they could use them.
Yep. I've never sold over, I think 53 is the most. we've
All
ever
right,
sold.
well, that makes me feel a little bit better about it, but, I just wouldn't want to see like, just opening up, this is a, more things for our residents to utilize. and-
Absolutely.
And when you go down there and you can't park, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to have it open through state
Yeah,
regulation.
you do.
So we
Sure.
cannot bar
But we can,
or absolutely say no unless there's no room.
but we can restrict the amount of passes. If that number was double that, I'd be like, maybe we
Yeah.
should put a restriction on that, but
Truly,
that's
yeah,
pretty low.
53 is the most I've ever seen.
That's pretty
sold,
low.
so.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I know I had thrown it out there, but the increase in the cost, if we're gonna go from 15 to 20. Could we get the $5 saved for Park and Rec like we did with mini golf, the
If
$2?
we're already talking 15 to 20, because we're at 20 now.
Well, I don't know, we were talking about raising the price. There's a conversation, I wasn't at the last meeting, but at the last
Okay.
meeting, you guys were talking about maybe raising the price $5.
We did raise it.
I think we.
I thought we did.
had
Raise
that.
it.
You're
Okay.
speaking- You're speaking Harvey's Beach, because I'm.
Yes.
The town beach.
So on those,
right,
on
yeah,
those,
oh,
that
oh, sorry,
$5
sorry.
increase, would there be a way for that $5 to stay with Park and Rec and not go into the general fund?
It goes into our little sinking fund.
Like we did, like we did the $2
I think we would have to
increase.
go before the Board of Finance for
Yes.
permission. to do
I'm
that.
just throwing it out there. Is that
Finance.
something that's possible? Because they were pretty amenable at the meeting when you were at Board of Finance to Carl, like having them maybe try to help us out on that. So is it worth an ask? Where we got the $2 increase from the mini golf from the
I
5
think
to
it's
7?
worth, I think it's worth
I think-
asking.
And if my memory serves me right, I think the last time we did this, we did it here first, the increase for mini golf, and then we went to the Board of Finance.
Right.
after.
Yep.
Right.
So we could do that. I mean, I'm good
That
for
would be
it.
one way of us funding ourselves instead of waiting for money to come from the Board of Finance.
As you know, I was very vocal. I asked
Right.
for all
I mean-
400,000 to go back into.
I heard you say that and I kept thinking like, but we have all these, so if we could get, it's just $5.
Yeah, no,
How's
I
everybody gonna get
I
there?
think the 25 is well within the realm of expenditures for the beach. And I think it's a good thing to ask to see if that $5 can come
I
back.
was just worried what they say no. But I think it's worth maybe looking into so we can fund some of our projects.
It's great to change the language, anything over 20 becomes ours.
Not that I'm-
For all future.
Making a motion to increase the fee.
Huh? What was that?
Are you making a motion?
I
to
am
increase
making a motion,
Okay.
well,
I knew Sue was gonna ask it, but I just wanted.
Yeah, I know, we're looking at each
Didn't
other.
we
I mean, I don't know if
already-
there's
wait, wait, wait.
discussion.
Didn't we already
Oh, wait
make
a
them?
minute, let's go back.
We already-
It's already up, right?
Yeah,
You've already increased.
we are.
No, I did not.
So this fee of 20, you changed it, but we haven't voted on it.
You're in the right.
That's right.
Oh, where?
Oh, that's for the permanent resident. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we're
This
talking
is-
about these here.
Oh, I
the
see here,
15,
yeah,
This one here.
yeah.
The
Okay.
15 to the 20 and then the 25 to 30. If we
Yeah,
were to
'cause you
increase
said
those
email
$5
Park or whatever.
Yeah.
would go to our thinking.
Like I said last meeting,
Yeah.
before you voted on it, you all asked to see if what the prices
Whatever everybody
were
else was
around, and I
doing.
set
Right.
that out.
Yes, and
Yep.
they were pretty,
We're right in.
High
That's-
compared to-
Yeah, what we're charging.
what we're charging.
Yeah. So you're gonna
All
make
right,
that motion then?
So Nancy has a motion on the floor to
Yes.
increase it to $25. We're
Well,
talking
no,
Harvey's
The
Beach.
daily
No.
fee to increase from 15 to 20. And the Friday, Sunday and holiday from
Oh,
25
on the
to
other side,
30.
thank you.
So,
And to
This is for
request that the
Harvey's.
$5 increase on each of those go to our sinking fund.
yeah, so go to 20 and then 30.
15 to 20, 25 to 30, right,
Right.
is what you're asking.
Yeah.
Just in this.
Just
Harvey's-
for Harvey's Beach only.
Harvey's are.
Harvey's
Hey,
Beach,
Harvey.
Harvey's Beach,
daily
yeah.
fees.
the daily parking fee.
I will second that if nobody else has.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Nancy and seconded by Jim to raise the daily fee from $20 per car Monday through Thursday to $30 per car Friday through Sunday and holidays. Motorcycles stay the same,
I don't think you
Alright.
exactly read that right, but.
did it? No?
So it should be 15
Yeah.
per car Monday through Thursday, up to $20 per car Monday through Thursday.
No.
Yeah.
We increased it to 20, correct?
Yeah, that's just not what you
15 to
said.
20.
And then
When you-
25
when
to
you were
30.
I will
saying it.
rescind what I said before, because we're on record.
I know.
All right.
Yep.
You
Sorry,
guys are
Donna.
all giving me.
So Nancy, make your motion again so it's clear. I'm sorry.
I will make a motion to increase the fee of Harvey's Beach parking daily parking fees from $15 to $20 for the Monday through Thursday. And then from 25 to 30 per car from Friday through Sunday and holidays. With the additional $5 increase to go to our Park and Rec sinking fund,
With approval from. the-
with approval from the Board of Finance.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Jim, are you seconding?
That sounds good to me. Second that.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Nays?
Nay.
And one absent, any abstentions? No, all right. So it passes. All right, moving on to the next item.
Wait, so the rest.
Oh, the rest of the policy?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Another page. Do we have to make a motion or can we just, well, this isn't anything we have to vote on. I think it looks awesome.
You guys are really focused on the fees, so
Yeah,
that's the writing of it, the wordage is, we've gone over for years.
it's so many times, yeah.
exactly. It's really, you guys are focusing on the fees.
I don't think we have to change the policy except for that one thing that we.
That's
noted.
totally fine.
We don't have to have a motion.
That was the only thing that I was talking about, so I
Yeah.
just want to make sure everyone was good on.
Yeah,
everything.
so I think
All right.
we're good.
All right,
Those,
any
those
other discussion on the passes?
I have a random question. Do you sell a lot of innkeeper passes?
Yes.
You do, right?
There's
Okay.
4 to 5 different establishments in town that come during keeper passes.
Okay.
Usually get their allotted amount. Those are good at Harvest Beach only.
Where are the documentary?
Dock meetings are off of Ferry Road. Go around Ferry Road by in between the bridges.
Yeah.
In there.
just want to make sure
So
we're,
confused.
It's a boat that they pay taxes on.
Okay,
Marina?
so just that?
It's
Just
the
that
only one.
area?
It's the only one.
Okay.
Jen?
There's probably about 5 or 6 people looking up there.
just because we put the stipulation about the whole sinking fund thing. If the Board of Finance says no, we still are raising these rates, right? I mean,
Do we need a second motion for that? If we're gonna,
No, because your motion said, and $5 of that will go to our sinking fund per the approval of the Board of Finance. So therefore, if they don't approve, we
Okay.
still have.
By the way, I mean, we're not gonna start collecting these until May. You can come back and vote on these again.
right,
Yeah, so.
okay. So who's gonna take that to finance?
Let me talk to Carlson to see how much is on their docket and we'll try to slide it in. I hate to put hours on a docket that the Board of Finance is going to be filled with.
Right,
in the
I'm
next
just like,
meeting.
you're gonna talk to
Yeah.
Bruce. Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk. Probably talk to Carl too, for that matter. All right, any other business regarding programs, facilities, and personnel?
I have not.
Going to old business, all parks review.
Well, we got some snow.
Are we getting more snow?
We're not gonna get it. So there's really nothing new to talk about parks, except that started spring stuff, meeting order and things that we had on the docket for capital projects and getting those pretty much going, so.
Are we having a snowman
we'd like
contest
to.
this year?
We had to cancel it this past week. Friday night was just not warm enough cold enough rather to spray snow. We're in discussion when we can do it next, when it's available.
Okay, I invite commissioners to be there, to be the judges. It's kind of
It's
a
been
fun
fun.
day.
I think I've done it every year we've had it.
Yeah, it's a fun day.
You know, feel free.
Yeah, the
Because
last
then
couple
it
years.
snowed.
Yeah.
It's like it was 40 degrees and we couldn't make snow that night.
It was like 2 years ago. was the last
I
time.
know. Okay, strategic plan and parks discussion.
There's actually nothing new on the strategic plan for the simple fact that Jeff has been, his office has been doing other things for us. And I don't think Jeff has been in the office, so I have not received anything new in regards to the strategic plan. Hopefully we'll have something more by next month.
I would say we should go back to our, plans for the Saybrook Point that we had, I think they gave up some suggestions that we have on record so that we can see, what's possible there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like,
They gave
I'd
us
like
the-
that to be on the agenda to look at that specific,
Area to just
Area.
revisit
Review our
that,
strategic
that's
plan in general.
those
yeah,
suggestions.
I really would, yeah, I don't know how much time we need for that, but I feel like we really need to make that a priority, you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
And maybe the piece
Looking
will
at-
fit into there when we're going through it.
Sure.
We can
The
use
strategic
in
plan for
yeah.
Saybrook Point.
In general.
Gardner.
or-
And
Mhm.
for the
I
upward.
think-
there. I think the whole thing, we,
Mhm.
and then we can zoom in on what, you
Well,
know,
how about
when we're
this?
all talking about it in a room together.
Do you have the strategic plan? I sent it to you, right?
Yeah, I don't even know where I've got
Okay,
it,
you
yeah.
can review it on your own, but we'll
Yeah.
just talk about Saybrook Point next month.
For our
Right.
new members, can we, do you have it so that they can email it to them so that they'll have it on their
Yeah.
computer to review?
We all got it.
I think we got it, yeah.
You did?
Oh,
You
yeah.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
we
I
got it.
definitely
Did-
sent it out, so.
But when we did that strategic plan, I don't think we included the Saybrook Point part of it. Didn't, Star, didn't we have something
They,
there?
they did, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, because we'd always wanted to connect it.
Mhm.
So we always we had them do it with the assumption was Fisher and Halloway, right? We had them do it, that is just open space.
Okay.
So
All the
the-
way around.
So I think it's actually very pertinent because it gives us a cost breakdown and it has what they thought was appropriate if it's an open space. So if
Okay.
that were to remain an open space, just more beautified, we'll be able to see the cost.
Okay,
Like their guess, you know, and that's gonna be really important.
yep,
If we're
So
gonna
I
keep
think
open
that's
space
good.
down there,
Oh,
that
yeah.
cost.
I think we need to look at the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
together as a group, because this has not been discussed since I've been on this commission and I'm almost done with my term. So
Which part, the down there?
the,
The whole thing.
the whole thing,
Plan
there,
down there.
yeah, I don't know, I mean, Ray gave it to me, there was some talk about it. But the whole thing was completed before I joined. So, you know, it's probably been 4 years since it was, or 5 years since it was completed, and I don't know that this commission has ever spent any time reviewing it, you know, together in a room. You know, we've referred to it, that's
Right.
part of our strategic plan,
So
many
take out the
times.
old business and put it into
But
new business, so it's.
That'd be great.
Be good if everyone
Mhm.
revisited it, because
Well,
we
right,
went through it
yeah.
and then comes to the meeting with
Yeah,
the
so that's our
knowledge.
homework.
So we don't have to like repeat what's already out there.
So
like,
again, I
you know.
wasn't here at that time either, but I've seen the strategic plan before I was on the commission. But was there any public comment at all for the strategic plan and coming up with the amenities that we were offering at the different
Oh, yeah,
parks?
we went.
We did
we
the
had
survey.
Many surveys.
lot of things.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I
did- we
remember
did a
doing the
lot.
survey,
Yeah.
but
That's
I
why I
only
think
remember
maybe
doing-
it's, yeah, if everyone takes a minute to review it.
And the
it'll-
plan
it'll
has all the
go back.
answers. It has all the breakdown of all the
We took,
replies.
yeah, multiple surveys from the town at many different times. There was town meetings where Fisher and Halloway came in and presented it to the public, to us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all of that was done. We're just in this stalemate of
The-
getting to the next step, which is just getting these plans paid for and approved, right? Like, that's it. We got that far.
Yeah.
That's why it's quiet, because in the last 4 to 5 years, we haven't raised any money and we
Well-
haven't asked them for anything other than
Well, I think
town parks, you
It's-
know, to do the survey.
it's almost a waste of time, honestly, to look at everyone and decide what we're gonna do. I mean, from a master plan perspective, understanding what amenities we can have, but when 5, 10 years go by, when you're not doing it, you know, things change, like is pickleball's out and who the hell knows what else is people are looking for, like that survey is kind of null and void at that point. I think we gotta focus on it, but we need to, I like the idea of a master plan, what we can potentially do and having it open, like we're looking at Clark Community Park now. Gonna try to get to say that every time, but it's so difficult not saying town park. Looking at that and bringing it up to speed, like if this is what we want today, right? Okay, here was what was possible, but this is what we need today. And moving forward on that. I guess I wouldn't want to spend a crazy amount of time looking at everyone and conjunctively, because that's that's a long time to look at everything.
Right, and I'm not saying we need a 10-hour meeting here. I'm just saying we need to get into it and figure out how long it's gonna take us. I mean, I think, I just want it to be the absolute top of our list because it feel like
I agree.
it hasn't been.
I agree.
And I don't,
And the
you
more
know.
years that we go on, we're not asking people or Board of
Yeah.
Finance for money. They just,
Yeah.
we get overlooked.
And they want to give us
You're
money.
not using it.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen really want to help us, you know, with the financing of this stuff. I think our responsibility, I feel like our commission needs to do a better job pushing this. You know, I feel like they've reached out their hand to us more than we've reached up to them. I'll be quite frank, and I'm on the commission and I take responsibility for that. We've got to, I just think this, you know, let's get it on the next, talk about it. I don't want to talk about review of bills and beach pass regulations and the she shed when we've got bigger issues. That's what's hard for me as a park and rec commissioner. When I look back, if I've been on this board for 3 years and this is what I've accomplished, that's not great. You know, we all want to move
That's
ahead.
why
on
I joined the
strategic-
commission.
Exactly.
Um,
That's what
I-
I probably.
I know, maybe
I-
it's pushing and it took
Right.
that long to get the plan. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been asking for that for 2 years and plus, so
Yeah.
we can only do so much
Right.
in terms of like in this meeting at
I
the
know,
moment,
I
right?
know,
Like,
I know.
I think it's good for the SPI thing. If we're talking about open space at some point, and what we want to do down there, that we reference all the money we've spent on the plan thus far and their plans, and we bring that up. And that becomes a parallel, right, to look at as we're referencing if we're gonna make any moves on open
Mhm.
space, right? Because you know, that makes sense. We already have that plan built. I mean, but we've pushed it. I mean, I mean, how much more we can push? It's all money.
Mhm.
And we just got that plan we voted on, the big, whatever you brought to us not a month before last. I wasn't here last. I mean, we
Yeah, no, I
said yes.
think that was great. I think that, and that's,
getting it. to
yeah,
us.
that's,
Well,
I think that was a huge step in
Huge.
terms of, you know, we all know.
And that bill's gonna
That's
come in at that, you know, that $3 million part.
Yeah.
That's gonna be our next push, but we do have these plans, we do have Kisser and Alloway's, you know, yes, it's now 4 years and climbing, but it's a point that the Board of Finance has seen before, that they know it,
And
and they
I think,
expect it, right?
I think
So it's
up to
not-
us, we can
Yeah.
add on to that. We know that we took that plan and we said, oh, we can spend $50,000 and get this done. We can get this done. We can
We've
get
been
this done.
inching
And tell them,
Yeah.
that, yes,
That's
we've got
why I
these
think we
done,
need
but
to-
we need to do the big stuff now,
Well,
you
now we
know?
almost can. We voted as a commission 2 months ago, finally, on that plan. We've been kind of waiting for that, right? That was a hurdle.
I
Yep.
think one of the arguments when we were at the Board of Finance, for the budget, and I was pushing for 100,000 and 400,000, and they were saying, well, we don't have the dollar sign. I'm looking at them going, you surely don't think that what we're asking for is gonna be 400,000. I'm sorry, but if you really believe that's it, and you're waiting, I want dollars and cents before me.
Presented,
They-
right.
And I'm going, we need to put it in the kitty, because that's where it is. And they're like, no, we want we want the dollars, we want an invoice, we want to know exactly what the problem with the dollars are. And I'm looking at this, we already know it's kind of like $1 million.
this is Board
Yeah,
of
I
Finance
know.
that's saying that?
Yeah. And I'm like,
Do they know how projects work?
This is it. This is the slow drag. Like this is.
Well,
the-
you know,
Just
I
don't
can
think
understand
so.
Ray's position in the
Yeah.
fact that, like, I deal with engineers all the time, you get pushed aside. You have no leverage over, there's very little leverage you can have, I guess, when they're busier with other stuff, with other bigger, you know, project stuff. It's hard. It's super hard to do that, but,
Review of the wetlands alone took like 6 months.
I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
There's not much more to.
I'm trying to, yeah, I'm trying to get a friend to go look at the septic system for Cuckoo's Nest, to do me a personal favor for Daryl over there. And it's been 2 months,
Yeah.
you know, I can't even get there. I'm like, I'll buy you lunch. Let's go to Cuckoo's Nest.
but to what Jane's saying, you know, we're gonna get some of this beach pass stuff and this she shed out of the way, so that we'll have time to really look at this strategic plan and just say, okay, you're gonna do that. And I think we're all ready for that PR section that we have to do. You know, I'm already visiting the zoning commission and the planning commission just to have them see me as Park and Rec. because the first thing they ask me is, oh, what are you here for? I'm like, park and rec. I'm not saying personal stuff, for somebody else, but I want them to see me now, and I want it to be there. Now I can't be at all those freaking
It'd
meetings.
be
I'm
great to
sorry.
create a plan of action for the
Mhm.
commission if we want
Yeah.
to set a 2-year plan for us of what we want to get out there and give ourselves
Yeah.
goals that hit, but we just got that plan, like finally, we
Yeah.
didn't have anything more to sell because we didn't have any concrete
Yeah,
plans.
exactly.
So it was like, we were doing that for a long time, we and Kevin pushed this and we started it all, we did that for months and years, and then it just hit this like the
It
drag.
took 3 years to
Yeah.
get the
Just to,
funding
like,
through.
so we
you know?
couldn't even, there
But-
wasn't anything else to say, I mean, we could bring it back up again, but it was like.
But that said,
yeah,
how many parks are on the strategic plan?
Four.
And you've done one of them.
Phase 1, right, and
So
now
you've got Main
phase,
Street Park.
right,
That was part of the strategic plan, that,
No, because
No.
that was a
Right.
steep grant thing, so.
oh, was
Yeah.
it? Okay. So
So
Clark,
town is, yeah.
Clark Community
Clark
Park.
worked on
would
it,
be-
part of the strategic plan, Clark was the
That's
frisbee
just too
golf.
many
Yeah.
words.
And
Yep.
the
We chose Clark as
as
the first one to focus
Right.
on.
Because we had already done this, the mini,
So-
the golf,
Main-
so we had already
Yeah,
like,
the
it was
first
already
golf.
on the awareness front of
And
the
the Main Street
town.
extension was already
Right.
under the plan.
It was like, we have to flow, like, why, so this SPI with the open space is great time for us to bring this in, because if that becomes our reason to be excited about that, we're just following our plan,
Mhm.
right? And this is a means to the end for us, and that keeps the focus on the plan and on the space, and that's what we care about, right?
Mhm.
Be
It
great,
is.
Keep
All
the
right.
needle moving.
right? A little bit, it's hard though, yeah.
So Main Street
But-
Park
but-
discussion,
But
or,
I agree, I think that item should probably be the number one on the list of our agenda items at every meeting. What we've done and what are the next steps? Because I honestly don't know what the next steps are. Like, we're waiting on Jacobson for this stuff and, what's the next step after that? I don't know.
I'm going
So
back.
you have that,
Yeah, he
so
gave it to
I
us.
gave you the sheet that has 5 pages on it with steps I through 352.
And he highlighted.
And we highlighted which
colors.
ones we've
Yeah,
already
I
done.
mean,
and
we
what
did
next.
I sort of remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can resend that out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll
Resend
be
that
helpful
out,
for
because
the
I
next
don't think
meeting.
I have that.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, you need that.
That'll be the starting point for
Yeah.
discussion for next time.
I think
I
it's
think-
where it gets lost.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it has to come back. when we
Yeah.
Get excited.
That should be like our, like.
We should have our own
continuing-
page.
Yes.
Is there,
There's a lot to it.
There
There's a
is.
lot- There's a lot to it.
yeah, I remember vaguely now.
I'll
reading
send it
through
back
some of
out.
it. Electronically is
Yeah.
great.
I thought, and it was on the website.
There's a link to the, well, there was. John, I
There,
had put a link
there
to
is,
it.
there is a link to the website to the
on Park and
strategic
Rec.
plan, but not the action items.
Right, yeah.
But that's for
which-
you guys,
Yeah.
not really for the public.
Right.
Right, right.
And granted, this is my first time on a commission, but just thinking that we don't work in a vacuum, like how much does, for example, the presentation tonight put that at a priority out of the strategic plan? If there is momentum for that
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
town.
That's our job, I feel really
Yeah.
strongly, is that then that's how we justify our, or if it's how the commission feels, it's how we justify getting to the end. which is our
Absolutely.
Plan, right? So like, this is another, and it's great, I was asking Ray, like, okay, so who finances that then? If that's it, like, okay, where do we get the money from then? Because that's gonna be a couple $1 million to get that, or a minimum of 1. Okay, we need that, so how do we get that? Is this a new way?
Mm.
Right? Like, we have to be smart, and I think if we present it as the plan, and we're just continuing with our phase of plan, it puts us at a good spot, like, we're doing what we said we'd do. And it puts it on them a little bit more to come up with the other odds.
But we have a
Which it should
capital,
be.
Right?
Much like with me
So
with
we're
this
not
golf.
getting
You
the
need a
backlash.
you need a
Right.
champion,
'Cause we're
whether
not
I was
getting
on the
the
commission or
backlash.
not,
No,
you need a
because we're
champion
doing
for these
this.
projects.
Off the
You
top of my head, I
we
don't.
want the
but
pavilion.
I'll
does
get
Ray
that.
have
Yeah.
it?
That's-
Ray, maybe we should, review also what we have, put into our, non-reoccurring fund and our
Sinking
strategic
fund?
plan, our
No,
sinking
the
fund.
capital.
And then,
Our sinking fund right now is funded at around $514,000.
and, because that will help us, and I'll talk to Carl and see, or Bruce
Yeah.
actually, and get the update for, the other funds that they're thinking of giving us when it finally passes.
Right.
Because that's gonna be helpful too. All right,
Yeah.
we should have an awareness of all of that.
Yeah.
And I think to what you're
So-
saying is, once we get those things and we review this again, I mean, I have no problems of going back to the Board of Finance and just getting on their agenda and saying, here's a review. I don't want you to forget about this stuff.
Use the highlights.
This is what we
yeah.
got. And I'm just here to keep being in your face, so to speak.
Or could
And
we
so
invite,
we
or
can
could
do
we
that.
invite them
Yeah.
or some of them to our meeting?
We can, I mean, I have no problem with that.
I mean, they never
You
seem to come to our meetings, but we always go to them. Why can't we extend an olive branch? Say, we're gonna be discussing this. If anybody would like to come discuss this with us, why don't you come to our meeting?
We can do that. And I think it's just about as hard for them to be at all these town
Yeah,
committee meetings as
but-
it is for me to go to them or us to go to the others. So
I would almost
but-
say, I would request one of them, just
Right.
so, I mean, I would like the education.
have
of-
a liaison from Board of
That's
Finance
from
come and join
Carl.
us.
Yeah, just
Or,
so
yeah,
I can
whatever.
better understand their perspective when
Exactly.
they look at these projects, and I don't know.
Right. And then they can take our perspective back.
100.
I remember when we were presenting.
From
all-
100
Every
to
time.
200,
From
okay.
Board of Finance, it was always like they wanted breakdowns,
Yeah.
invoices, specifics. We just weren't
I
ready.
get it.
We weren't there.
Yeah.
We had.
It's
we
not
didn't
black and
have
white
it.
like that.
We just, so it was, they were kind of becoming difficult, right? Because we couldn't give them what they asked for.
There's been
They
a little
just
change
want
with the guard,
numbers and They
though.
just want, and we were looking for that, like, give us a little idea of how and where.
We
and-
required to have like 3 different independent estimates done, or can we just get an estimate done on stuff?
They usually
So that's
request
not how it
you.
works. So when Jacobson gives us the plan, he'll list, gravel, $1 million, whatever it may be, it comes out and then it goes out to bid. So that's where the 3 estimates come from. So the
Yeah.
project will go out to bid once we have all the guesstimate numbers,
Mhm.
solid numbers really. And then it goes out to bid after that, once we've decided that we have the funding in place, that we can do it, right?
So I think it's doable and to what Jan's saying, I says, okay, we'll start going to the Board of Finance and we'll ask them to come here when we're talking to them. Talking about this. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay, so do we have anything on the Main Street Park discussion?
I do not know.
Okay. Preserve update? Nothing since our
Not
last
much
month.
to- Yeah, nothing really. Preserve.
Except that there'll be a hike on the 22nd, if anybody's interested.
February 22nd, Chris Kreider will be leading a Trails to Ales hike. Starts at 10 a.m. in the preserve, and after the hike, he'll be going to Mercine for.
Ales.
Okay.
It is.
So if you haven't been in the preserve or, Chris usually does a different trail each time he brings, walkout, and he has an exorbitant amount of information on what you're passing through and the type of, just everything from rocks to trees to
Who is Chris?
Chris Kreider.
He's just a member of the community that has been very vocal in the preserve and getting it preserved, and he's been on the ad hoc, he's currently serves on the ad hoc committee, ad hoc preserve committees.
He has been a group that fought for the preserve from the very beginning. And he's a member of the ad hoc.
Everything about that place that you can ever imagine.
So he'd be a key person to
Drive.
work with.
Behind
Close by Midwest CrossFit.
30 Mile used to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
It's the old 30 mile.
Okay, I know it. Yeah. They have like a trivia night, that's actually
Yeah,
fun.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, we did that over the, it was fun.
Any other business regarding programs, facilities, personnel?
Nope.
Chairman's report?
Quick question.
Whoops, yes, Jim.
In my packet, there was something about the beach concessions. Were we supposed to do
Oh,
anything?
there is.
You're not there yet, Jim.
Oh, we're not there
Oh.
yet?
Okay, I thought we were running out of items. Okay.
No, I did see that. Is that something we
We've
can
been here a while, haven't we?
not decide or just know that we have one?
Okay, carry on.
So.
Nothing.
All right. Nothing then. All right, chairman's report. I went to the budget meetings. That's all I did. Director's report?
I do not have a direct report.
All right. Any liaison report? Oh, good. Anyone want to suggest something or have a discussion? before the end of the meeting?
Why are we talking about concessions?
They're not due until March 7th.
Okay.
So
Okay.
next meeting.
Next meeting, okay, thank you.
Did she sell it?
Well, next meeting.
Okay.
Uh,
Bum, bum.
Next time.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
motion to adjourn?
I'll make a heavy motion to
Motion.
adjourn. So I
I'm
can-
seconding for heavy.
All in favor, aye?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.